Joining me in this episode is Erica La'Shun, who is a culinary artist and owner at Consume and Confess, based in Atlanta, Georgia. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, this is so great. So, Erica, maybe tell me a little bit and tell the audience about this pretty new business that you have going.
Yes, our business is in its infancy, but it is forever growing. It started out with just desserts and cakes and cupcakes, but during the coronavirus, I saw one that business was slowing down with all of the celebrations now being canceled, and it was a lot smaller parties involved. And I didn't want my business to die in the process. So I expanded. I said, well, we are now offering meal prep and catering. And I also have a line of homemade greeting cards and flower baskets. And it's just really kind of taking on, I wanted to be a one stop shop for celebrations. And as amazing as celebrations are, food is essential to life. And I love making things that look good and taste good and just being part of those everyday moments.
So, tell me a little bit more. I want to get back into the type of sweets and foods and products you offer, but tell me, I mean, you just started this business in January. So, what has that been like?
It's actually been full on business. I said when I started, like if I do something once a month, that'd be great. It's not really something to live off of, but I really wanted to give myself a goal of once a month. And I posted a picture on Instagram and I instantly had requests and oh my God, I was looking for someone who does candy apples or I can you do something like this? And I never say no. I'm always like, of course I can do it. I don't care if it takes me 500 times. I will get it right by the time it's presented.
So, Erica, tell me about the story behind the name and how you decided to name your company Consume and Confess.
Well, it started out Christian's Confectionaries, which is named for my son, and people were kind of having a hard time saying confectionaries, and they kept thinking I was saying confession. So it was just a little play on words. I'm like, it's so good that you have to consume it, and then you got to confess. So good, I have to confess. And I liked it. It was kind of sexy, it was playful, and it was a conversation piece. Like, confess, like, what's that? That's kind of where that came from.
So tell me more about what you're trying to get right now. You told me a little bit before you expanded, but what are some of the things that you are providing that maybe wasn't on the original plan?
On the original plan, food was not. It was just supposed to be cupcakes, cakes, chocolate covered strawberries, those little gourmet desserts. And after coronavirus, because that's a thing now, right? So after that happened, I said, well, I can meal prep. A friend of mine asked me, like, do you think you can make something for the week? And I was like, sure. And I was like, how much you need? Yes, for two people. I posted a picture and then I had some other orders come through. And then now I've actually had repeat customers, which is amazing. Mother's Day just happened and there's birthdays and anniversaries. And like this little basket that I have here, I made everything is something that we're now offering. And I can bring it a little bit closer into the frame. So if you're on Instagram, you know how popular like these little flower boxes are for all those Instagram, fashionistas, and everyone can't afford an $800 flower basket. But I make them and they're all handmade. I have a lot of detail in there and they're customized with the person's name as well as cards written by me as well. It's on parchment paper. So we just really wanted that high end experience all the time. And everyone should be able to celebrate Corona or no Corona. Your birthday is something that you remember.
So it seems like a lot of it has kind of come of word of mouth and repeat customers. Is that kind of how it's been?
I have a website that I've been working on, but I'm a perfectionist. I want it to be perfect. So I wasn't ready to launch yet. And it's been able to pace myself and to not take on too much business where I'm making little mistakes or I can't put in 100% effort. And it's been great for me. I am more than happy to answer every DM that I get or, hey, so and so had a picture. Like, do you think you can do something like this? And the answer is always yes.
I mean, that's amazing, and it seems like you're providing an experience. A lot of folks are stuck in their homes, and they want to still celebrate these events. And So it seems like you have custom options and things you provide for folks.
Yes, I'm custom only. I'm only made to order. I have nothing just sitting around, and I do love getting to know my customers, even in a 5 minute conversation. What's your favorite color? What do you like? And I love when people tell me just go and make something up. Sometimes I see a picture, like I go through on their profile, and I'm like insta stalking them. I'm like, oh, this person really loves dandelions, and I will make dandelion cupcakes and have a whole theme based off of one image.
Are there certain things you've learned through this, just in starting a new business, but also during this time that you think might be good for others to know about?
Business wise, don't discount your services. That's been a big thing for me. Although it's great, I was able to take a ton of pictures, and that's kind of what started the conversation. And maybe I didn't gain those customers if I didn't have the pictures out there. But I think you will learn early on, if you are going to make any type of profit, you cannot discount your services. Ingredients and things like that, they actually fluctuate. And then during coronavirus, things that you don't think will run out, they may not be available. And maybe you do have to make that extra trip to the store that's 15 miles away or whatever the case, because you've already committed to making something, and me, quality is everything. So if I'm not going to partake in it myself, I definitely won't give it to anyone. So I pick through my strawberries before I dip them. I look at everything, I wash it. It's all about being safe even before Corona, but it's going into someone's mouth. And I take that care with everything. But I did learn it can cost you when you're doing stuff for friends, and they see this, beautiful, 2-tier cake with fresh flowers and all those things. And I'm like, hey, girl, I have $50. Like, you think you can make it happen? And you're like, sure. But then you realize you're now spending money making something, and that doesn't feel good in the end.
I've run my own business before, and I think you make a good point, which is kind of don't negotiate against yourself, right? And make sure that the services that you're offering, that you're providing the worth and taking in consideration. It seems like you're kind of having to figure that out really fast too.
Yes, and there's really, there's no blueprint exactly. There's all these competitors, and to me, they're just like other educators. I never take another business and I'm like, oh wow, whatever they offer, because my service is my service. But at the same time, I don't have a commercial kitchen. There's not cupcakes just waiting to be bought or things of that nature. So I do kind of have to go case by case when it comes to my orders. And I've had that flexibility. And sometimes, I take a loss and I learn from it. I had an order that, to me, I was like, oh, this is a good amount. The order was for $200. I waived the delivery. Well, I drove an hour and ended up in traffic. And even though it sounded good when I said that we're waiving delivery fees, by the time I got there, I was not satisfied. But I didn't take it up with the customer. I just, thanked them and went about my way.
Right. It's figuring out, you're gaining this insight as you do it, which it seems like you have a really positive outlook, which is awesome. So what's next? Like, what, as you've kind of had to speed up some things and add some new services and change things up during this time, what are you hoping that will come after this, and what do you hope for your business?
For my business, I obviously want it to grow. I want it to be that great big tree with branches of branches, and with the new non-perishable items that I'm offering, or things that you buy anyway. They're, with my current customer in mind, people buy cars, they buy candles, they buy those things. And I would like to have some things that I do have readily available. And that is what I would kind of like to do now. I've always been able to write, and the greeting card thing also just kind of came about organically. Like, hey, I want something a little bit different. And I said, I can do that. And then, I went through like all my paper samples, and I've enjoyed it. I'm enjoying growing with my business, and I'm really hoping it sustains and it's something different. It's like, wow, I really want Consume and Confess, because they put a lot of thought into that. And I feel like they're doing it for me as my best friend, not just like I'm some other customer.
It definitely seems like that it means a lot to you, and you put a lot of yourself into it, which I think is kind of what you're saying. So hopefully it seems like people are connecting to that and enjoying that. So that's really great.
Yes, I have enjoyed it and I loved it. They send me text messages before I get to them and follow up like, by the way, I want you to know that they love the cake and I'm going to tell someone else. That is the best news when you have your own business.
That's
Referrals
really
are everything.
referrals are everything because and it's a testament to you, right? You know that your product's good if you have people, other folks doing marketing for you.
I'm loving like every bit of it.
That's awesome. Oh, Erica, thank you so much. I think this was great, and hopefully, if you're at least in Atlanta or if you're anywhere else in the country, take a look at Consume and Confess. We'll put the Instagram page along the bottom, and I wish you the best, and I hope you have continued success during this.
Thank you so much. I've enjoyed